Hi, welcome back to Happy Apple Core Homestead. Today I'm going to teach you how to make an herbal athlete's foot powder. First I'm going to tell you what we're going to need and then we're going to jump right into making it. First you're going to need Bentonite Clay. This is the brand I have, Smart Solutions. It's food grade. I use it for baths and all different kinds of things. We're going to need oregano, cayenne pepper, calendula, Chaparral leaf powder, and black walnut hulls in the powder form. Now I don't grow the Chaparral or black walnut hulls, so I purchased these online, but if you can grow them or procure them in your area, that's even better. It is very helpful for this process to have a coffee grinder. I would recommend a designated herb coffee grinder as opposed to one that you grind your coffee with every day, just so that it stays sharp and it doesn't have any of the coffee odors. Now today I'm going to be filling these very tiny little jars that are kind of for travel. If you have a teen that is doing sports and just wants to sprinkle some in, those are great. Of course there's lots of different options of little sprinkle kind of jars that you can get that work for you. I will make sure that this recipe is down in the description box so you can make your own. You can double it, triple it, quadruple it if you want to, but I'm making a little bit of a small batch today. There are several other herbs that are antifungal that would work great for athlete's foot. However, they will add some complications. For example, turmeric is an amazing antifungal, but if you put powdered turmeric in this and you're shaking it on your feet and then you pop your white socks on, those socks are going to be yellow forever. So you might want to skip the turmeric for this one. Garlic, cinnamon, cloves, and mint are all antifungal. So if you would like to use them, you can, but just keep in mind they are going to create quite a bit of odor, and maybe mint, cinnamon, or clove would be pleasant for somebody, but I don't know if anybody wants their feet smelling like garlic. I don't know, but it's up to you. I just wanted to let you know that there are other herbs you can use that are antifungal depending on your situation and what you would like. So this one here is not really going to smell like anything. The oregano has just a very slight herbal odor, but nothing significant as compared to garlic or mint, for example. Okay, now on to the recipe. I have a kitchen scale here because we are doing everything by weight except for one item. The cayenne pepper, we're only going to use 2 teaspoons. Everything else is going to be by weight. We will use 2 ounces of the bentonite clay and a ½ ounce of everything else. Now let's see, my calendula is going to need to go into the grinder because they're very, dry flowers, but they need to be like powder, kind of like this and like the clay, as powdery fine as you can possibly get it. I'm also going to grind down the oregano just a little bit further. I have my kitchen scale here and we're going to put ½ ounce of both the black walnut hull and the chaparral right into this jar here. Black walnut hull is in. Now onto the chaparral. And onto the bentonite clay, and we need 2 ounces of this. This powder is ready to go. Now we gotta do a little bit of grinding and then we'll get to the mixing part. We'll put the calendula right in here. And I will turn the sound off so you don't have to listen to the grinder. Now you can see it has turned into a very, very fine powder. Now for the fun part, we're gonna mix everything together. I'm sure you can tell. So this is the calendula. Do you see how the volume has reduced? Even the oregano has reduced quite a bit after the grinding. So if you thought it was gonna be a little bit crazy with that much, I hope this makes a little bit more sense now. So we're just gonna put everything into a little bit of a bigger bowl. Everything all together. And we're going to stir it until it is completely combined. You might want to do this a little bit slowly because otherwise, if you're like me, it's going to make you sneeze, and you do not want to sneeze into your athlete's foot powder. Not because of germs, but because of moisture actually. You want to make sure before you make your athlete's foot powder that everything you're using is completely bone dry. Now, if you're purchasing ingredients from, an herbal store or something like that, those are almost guaranteed to be completely bone dry. But if you're making them yourself, it's really important to triple check that there is no moisture left over inside. Otherwise, once you put them into your containers, it's just going to cake up and not come out. And then it will be very frustrating, I would imagine, when you're trying to shake out the powder and it's just a big clumpy mess. Okay, that's what it looks like, all completely mixed up. I'm going to just kind of continue to stir this for a couple more minutes just to make sure it's evenly combined, especially because I have such tiny little jars that we're using. I recommend that if you make this batch and you're going to store it in a mason jar, for example, that you use a desiccant pack with it to ensure that it stays completely moisture free. In these small containers, which you plan to use very quickly, you're going to throw it in your backpack or your purse or your briefcase. It's not going to be necessary. It should stay perfect in these containers. And I'll show you how I fill them and the other little contraptions that are with it too. Now it's time to fill your little containers. I have a tiny baby spoon here. For this particular container, you're gonna wanna make sure to leave a little bit of room for the insert to go, and I'll show you that in just a moment. Tap it down. A little bit more. I want it to be as full as possible while still being able to get the lid on. I think this looks good. There you go. And these particular little travel jars have this type of shaker lid that goes right on top. You pop it in and it looks like this. And then you close it up like so, and it won't leak into the lid. And I will show you how nice it shakes out. So that is just a beautiful powder. It's very well done as far as how fine it is, and I love it. And then there's a lid that goes right on top. And there you go. You have a travel size athlete's foot herbal powder for anybody in any occasion. Now, how do you use this? I recommend that after you take a shower, you sprinkle your feet with the powder, and you can just kind of fluff it in, like rub it in just a little bit, and then you can put your socks and shoes on and go about your day. You can also sprinkle this into your shoes, directly into your shoes, and it will help kind of get rid of that fungus that's growing in there. Something I also do that is really unrelated to this video, but it's pretty important to me, I do it all the time. I spray my tennis shoes and my boots, the ones that I wear all the time. If you guys know me, and I know you do, You know that I have 3 pairs of shoes. I have a pair of tennis shoes, I have a pair of muck boots, and I have a pair of cowboy boots. You guys, that is all the shoes I have, literally. I think somewhere in the depths of my closet, I also have a pair of sandals for kayaking, but you can do that barefoot. So that's it. And while I don't need this or anything else for my sandals, I do get stinky feet. I know that's probably not the most attractive thing to admit on the interwebs, but a vinegar and water solution sprayed from a spritz bottle right into your shoes is an amazing way to eliminate odors, especially if those odors are not because of athlete's foot, but just because we sweat in our shoes. So if you have athlete's foot though, use this in your shoes. If you just have stinky feet, you can use a vinegar water solution. Just do 10% vinegar, the rest of it water, spritz it in. It will dry in a couple of hours. I mean, don't go heavy on it, right? Just like that, just spritz it in. It will get those odors right out of your shoes and your boots. But if you have athlete's foot, sprinkle this in as well and use it after your shower right on your feet. Then you can put your socks and shoes on. If you have questions on labels or anything like that, pop it down into the comments and I will let you know how I label these jars. And if you want this particular jar, I can also let you know where I got them. Most people are probably going to want something a little bit bigger, but I love this for travel. It is perfect if you go to the gym or you shower at work or those types of things because it is very discreet and you can just pop it anywhere, like even into your pocket, and nobody is going to see it and nobody is going to know what it is. I know there's still a stigma on athlete's foot, you guys. I don't know why, because so many people get it, especially our teens and our young ones who are playing sports. It is about to be summer. You guys, this is a must-have. If you have any questions, please go down into the comments and let me know. I do respond to every single comment. I may have this on my Etsy shop if you want to buy it for yourself. It's not going to be very expensive. But until then, do check out my Etsy shop to support me and bringing this information to you. There is tons of great herbal remedies and medications there for you, and even some things just to pamper yourself. I hope this video was helpful, or at the very least entertaining, and I will be seeing you next time. Bye!